Well, hello, I'm Joanna Clark with Blissful Baby Sleep Coaching, and it is the month of March, which means I get the great honor to partner, promote, and support other amazing female women entrepreneurs that are doing incredible things. And today I get to interview Dr. Jackalyn Ranosek. Hi, Dr. Jackalyn, how are you?
I'm doing great, Joanna, and thank you so much for doing this interview.
Yes, absolutely. So let me tell all of you a little bit about Dr. Jackalyn because she is really something, and then we're going to dive deep into all the incredible things she's doing. So Dr. Jackalyn Ranosek, CEO and co-founder of DPT Leadership Group, has worked extensively with a wide range of leaders as they make strategic decisions in ever-changing circumstances to achieve extraordinary results and increase profitability. As an organizational consultant for 47 years, and I should say she has her PhD as well, that's why she's Dr. Jackalyn Ranosek, her primary objective is to improve organizational capacity to manage internal and external functioning and relationships by teaching leaders and employees to cope with a wide range of organizational challenges. So Jackalyn's going to tell us all how she does this because she has an incredible, unique approach. So Dr. Jackalyn, thank you again for being here. So why don't we just jump in? Tell us what DTP leadership does and why are you unique in the business that you own and provide services for individuals and organizations.
Thank you. Well, Joanna, that's it. That's a real exciting thing to be able to do, and I'll be happy to do that. I think what DTP leadership is, it has so many facets to it. We have about 8 facets of things that we can do with the organization. So we're a very comprehensive organization that can work with any kind of organization or any size, which I think is really important. Now, I've been in the business 47 years, and I'm really famous for letting people know immediately that in those 47 years, I have also done many, many things to develop to the point where we have DTP Leadership Group. Our tagline is to disrupt the present in service of the future. So we are well known for disrupting people's lives or organizations to say, here are the things that you need to change, and here's how we can move you forward so you will have a much higher performing group of employees. And not only that, will be a very successful organization.
And happier employees. Happier
Yes,
employees.
that's really important to me, Joanna, because I think we have a value structure that we put in, and we've identified 10 areas that we know are habits that people have in organizations. And when we eliminate those 10 areas, it's really amazing the kind of organization it can be. It's very socially just, it's very accepting of diversity, and it's also appreciating how many different things that people can bring to an organization. So that's how I would answer it. Now, what I'd like to do is go on and describe some of the 8 facets that we have, because I think it shows us as being extremely unique.
Yes.
I look at other organizations and I don't see that they have the capacity we have, because we have some things that really make us different. I want to start it with one. Leaders have to work on developing themselves. That's all you and I have, is the ability to develop ourselves. That is who we are as leaders. We developed in 1991 an Habitual Patterns Assessment that assesses 17 different groups of behavioral patterns. And in that, I can tell a leader where they are doing things that prevent them from being very successful in their professional career or in their personal lives.
Because it always is intertwined.
Yeah, and it's always intertwined, Joanna. And so I think that's what has happened. But I think in those 17 different areas, I can tell them how severe something is, because we can move from it only being a habit till it becomes an addictive process that's even more disturbing to the individual. But what happens is most people don't know that.
Mhm.
I think when you and I have talked about the habitual patterns before,
Mhm.
you didn't see some of the things,
Right.
our
And I
behavior.
should say full disclosure. So let me tell you a little bit of backstory, Jackalyn, why I wanted you here today as part of my opportunity to partner, promote, and support you is I, as a woman entrepreneur myself, right? So I'm the owner and founder of Blissful Baby Sleep Coaching. So I am the leader of my own organization. And as Jackalyn said, as a leader of your own business, you have to develop yourself. And I do believe that. And I have been lucky enough to work individually and one-on-one with Dr. Jackalyn to look at these areas, this habitual assessment. And I was stunned to see the areas that were blocking me. And then once I could see them, I was able to do
Right.
something about them. And sequentially working on that. And now I'm free of that. The freedom that comes from knowing is tremendous. So, uh, whether you are a leader of your own entrepreneurial journey, a small business owner like me, or you're a woman in a career who is looking to do a leadership role or develop yourself so you can take on a leadership role. This is why I wanted Dr. Jackalyn to come today to talk to us about her unique approach, because it is 47 years of tremendous knowledge and wisdom building coming together. So let's go back to those facets, right? The facet is like, first is kind of this habitual pattern, like what's there that we don't even know is blocking us. And then you marry it with this next component, which I think is part of your master coach with leadership. Tell me about that, the master coach with the leadership challenge.
Okay. And so what I'll do is I'll say though, and finish something. And thank you very much for that revealing of yourself and the involvement with me. And I really appreciate those comments. What I think I know is that people have habitual patterns, but they have no clue about what they're doing.
Mhm.
Every time, like you and some of the other people I've interviewed with about their habitual patterns, they are shocked at what they learn. And they'll say, that's one of the behaviors that I really disliked, and I couldn't even identify how I was doing it. So once you can see it, then that happens. The other thing that I have an advantage of is I'm a certified master with the Leadership Challenge, and it's the best research leadership program in the world. Their assessment, the Leadership Practice Inventory, has been utilized in 189 countries. So as a PhD, it matters to me that it's been tested in 189 countries because of the fact that says that there is no bias to their assessment because it's been tested in so many different cultures. And that's really important to me. What I can do with the habitual patterns assessment is I can then compare that assessment to the leadership practice inventory, and I can literally show someone what they are doing internally that they didn't even realize they were doing or intrinsically doing, and it's now affecting their leadership. And I'll give you a brief statement. I worked with an amazing woman for a French company, and she was one of the first women that they put into a leadership role that was even close to the CEO. And she got into a job that was really not something she was familiar with, but this woman was something. And they hired me to coach with her. And what we found is that due to the fact that she wasn't as emotionally connected as she needed to be, she didn't develop relationships easily. So then on the leadership practice inventory, her lowest practice was on encouraging the heart.
Mhm.
When we finished the work, people gave her all kinds of positive comments about how she had changed and what had happened in the process. And today she is one of the vice presidents in this very large French company. So I think the comparison of what internally we're doing and then what is the leadership we're doing, that really makes the difference. So that's one of the things I do as an executive coach. And so I know that they not only know about leadership, but they know about themselves so much with that self-awareness that you're able to do anything. The other thing I'd say about our executive coaching is we also have visionary dream coaching that I talked about last year when we had an interview for WO3. And I think we can identify the dreams for individuals, but we can also identify the vision for what the organizations want. And so in my executive coaching, I think what I do is I really disrupt the complacent or the blocked ideas, the beliefs that are interfering with the individuals I'm working with.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to emphasize something. Even though I work a lot with CEOs and CFOs, or I work with C-suite individuals, I work with directors, I also, through the Leadership Challenge, work with every person in an organization.
Yes.
Because I believe that if you have a desk and you manage it well, then you are a leader.
Yep.
And that's true for anyone. So I appreciate that. But let me just clarify something for you a little bit more about the executive coaching, because I think that people don't look at how their personal lives may affect their professional lives. And so you mentioned a few minutes ago, that we have to work on both a lot of times in order to do it. I think another thing that makes us unique as an organization, though, is we have been doing 50 years of cultural competency,
Yes.
diversity, and social justice.
Yes.
And we are very focused on 9 different areas when we do that kind of work. We focus on age, persons of color, LGBTQ+, women, white males, nationality, organizational hierarchy, and people with disabilities. And so we have initiated a number of diversity programs. The other thing that I think that we do very well is we have a new facet of our company, which is DTP business strategies. And it so happens that I can tell owners or CEOs or CFOs or whatever position they're in, how they're leaving revenues and profits on the table. Because I have a software that has 497 million weighted algorithms that analyze 40 different areas of a business. And then I can literally provide a report to that owner or that CEO about where they're leaving revenues and profits on the table. Right. And it's been a major change from my own organization. Another thing we do, of course, is we do organizational development and coaching. And what we do is we have a way to do an in-depth assessment of how well you're doing with your diversity and equity and inclusion process in your organization. But we also have a way to use 7 areas to analyze your organization and determine where there are blocks in the system that are preventing you from being highly successful. So I think we cover many. The last thing I would mention is I always teach leaders how to be emotionally connected. If you don't have an EQ, emotional intelligence, then you are not going to be successful. It's 90% of the success for any person that's a leader. So I'll stop there. And I hope that's yeah.
So you can see why I wanted Dr. Jackalyn to come speak to us today. I mean, the breadth of experience she has and this unique perspective where she has the tools and the resources, and then she's able to then take the tools and combine them and use them and then create a way for organizations or individuals to keep moving so that that's why it says disrupt the present in service of the future. So her whole goal is let's moving forward, highest potential. That's where we're going. So that's what I love. So Jackalyn, you have obviously been an entrepreneur for a long time. Where did this desire to be an entrepreneur come from? I mean, where did you get this gumption and inspiration?
Well, I need to tell you about my parents a little bit because that's where I got it. My mother ended up being president of every thing in town when I grew up. And so she was always involved in committees and the community and so forth. And she was well known for doing this, because when my father ran for city council, he said, it's Jackalyn and my wife that got me elected, because they're really well known in this community for what they do. But my dad was an interesting person. He had the guts to leave a farm and go to West Texas, and he stayed. And 4 of his other friends went back. He did not. He stayed. He developed businesses. And in his lifetime, he developed 179 businesses.
Wow.
One night I sat down with him and started talking with him, and he listed them, all the ones, and he got to 179. And he said, I think that's about all I've done. And I can't even remember 179 businesses or whatever he was talking about. But at the dinner table, this was a conversation. Jackalyn, I'm really glad you got a job. However, you got to own your own business.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept saying that to me. And he talked about being an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
So I did work for companies for a while,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I really like the flexibility that I have. Also, I've always been ahead of the market in ideas about how to run organizations and how to lead them. And so having my own company, it gives me the freedom and flexibility. And today, I would say that we are, there are people that love to work for us. We have, I have my co-founder, that helped form this company, and I have 6 other individuals that are a part of our company. And I think we have created an environment where they know they are treated with respect, and they know what our value structure is, and it fits with theirs. And they know that we will always treat them with great equity and fairness.
Yep.
And I enjoy doing it today.
Right.
Thank you.
Yes, you've been able to literally create the business of your dreams that also employ other individuals that meet the mission. And, again, you have all these resources. So you're constantly looking at your organization to kind of grow and develop. So my next question is, and this is a fun one for me because Jackalyn is doing so many things out in the world besides everything she's doing inside her business. She is on many boards. So how do you prioritize mentorship and support for other women who aspire to be either entrepreneurs or leaders?
Well, I've always been a mentor, and I do a lot of that. I volunteer with about 5 people every week to help them go through the process of making dramatic changes in their lives. And sometimes I utilize the thing I have as a coach to help them move forward. But I volunteer to do that every week, and I may go for years working with the same person.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing, though, is with some very good friends of mine, I developed Women Advancing Women. And it is a nonprofit that our mission is to provide scholarships so that women can advance their education. And what I love about it and what our ideas are about it is we've already seen this. Some of us have already been involved in doing this kind of thing. Because what we want is we want any woman, and we believe that women have a harder time getting scholarships a lot of times. So that's the reason we've emphasized women. But we believe that women need the right to start out as freshmen if that's what they can do. And they have to qualify for our scholarships. So we have an application, but we are always fair. They may be a freshman, and they may be in their last year of their doctoral program. And I have one woman that I know that I've watched for almost 5 years. I was in a previous organization prior to Women Advancing Women that we helped her, and we will continue to help her finish her doctorate in nursing. So those are the things that I do. Another thing is I'm a member of Women Energy Network, the executive group, and I decided to do something different. I'm on the committee for a Women Energy Network Houston, their mentoring program. Mm-hmm. And we have a very large number of women and mentors. And having been in the business of organizational design and systems and developing programs for so many years and training, I am now helping that group. In fact, Friday, I'm literally going to be doing a training program for them that will help them advance their way that they do programs. So I love working with. The last thing I want to mention is I'm always conscious in my board. I always want to have women that are
Mhm.
early in their career.
Yeah.
And I have a woman that's in her second year of her career, but she's fabulous at planning events. And so she's working under the VP of events,
Mhm.
but she's on that committee. And not only that, she's a whiz at working with Glue Up and with social media. So we're having a great time seeing the talent that she has. So I always have younger women on it. I also have men, because there are many men that have daughters and they want to support women in education.
Right.
So that's how to do that.
Amazing. So again, we wonder how does Jackalyn have this many days in her, or this many hours in her day to be doing all of this contribution, right? Contribution within her business and contribution with mentorship. So thank you so much. So now is the time for us to get to shout out you. Okay. So again, WO3 month, it's all about partnering, promoting, and supporting female-owned businesses. And so I want Jackalyn to be able to tell us something she's super excited about that will allow you to get to know her more and what she does and her genius.
Well, first of all, I think that something is, and I'll speak for myself first, and then I want to shout out another organization because there's a woman that I highly respect. And there are many are that, so I had to, it was
Yeah.
hard for me to
I had to
choose.
make her choose one. I had to make her choose one. So she gets to shout
Yeah,
out
thank
herself
you.
and she gets to shout out someone else. So give it to, so
Right.
shout out yourself first, Jackalyn.
I think that one of the things that is exciting about this, and many people don't understand this, I'm guessed to be 63 to 67, and that is not at all what I am. I'm 81, I'll be 82 in April. And on April 19th, I'll be talking about all the things that I've done in an event for Women Advancing Women about how to stay healthy and advance yourself.
Mhm.
I'm an entrepreneur. I love the work because I see people transforming and changing.
Mhm.
I'm sitting in front of one today with Joanna and a brilliant business that she started. And I can tell you this, if you have a child that you want to get some help with that baby, then you need to be asking for Joanna Clark, because I trust her implicitly to take care of your children and to do what's needed. So I'll shout out Joanna for a moment.
Okay, well, that's nice.
But I think that's it. And I do think that there is another woman I'd like to recognize.
Well, hold on. We haven't
Lori.
finished your shout out. Hold on. Hold
Okay,
on. We
okay.
haven't finished shouting out. So Jackalyn has this, we talked a lot about the habitual assessment. And so if there's anyone listening that is a woman entrepreneur herself or a career woman who is looking to advance herself into a leadership role, Jackalyn has a very amazing opportunity. So why don't you talk about that?
I'll be happy to. Um, I would like to see if there are 20 women that want to advance in their career and they would like to take the habitual patterns assessment. It's only $19. Those 20 women will also get an hour and a half from me to go over their assessment with them.
Amazing.
And so I would look forward to that. What you have to do is go to DTP leadership.com, our website, and you'll have that information anyway. And you will see a way to get on our habitual patterns assessment. I also will provide a connection so they can go directly to the habitual patterns assessment for you, Joanna.
Mhm.
And what I'd like for them to do is fill it all the way out. And when I see that that assessment is done, then I will be contacting each one of them and providing an hour and a half of consultation about what I see about their assessment. And
Amazing.
I think, yeah.
Yes. So this is gonna, so this, all the links will be in the show notes. And I highly encourage you, again, if you are interested in moving forward and transforming and understanding yourself deeper, this habitual assessments is really profound. And to have an hour and a half with Dr. Jackalyn would be an extraordinary opportunity. All right, so that's your shout out. So now you get to shout out another woman entrepreneur who you really respect.
There's and again, you told me I can only do one. So there are many that I would choose, but I think the one that really comes to mind for me is Lori Walters. She's a VP in a recruiting company that is worldwide. And what I think is so phenomenal about her is that she has developed herself over 28 years and continues to do that. And it's amazing some of the things she's done, even getting her education and some other things that have, can end up being a challenge for individuals, but she is determined. And so she's at the University of Houston right now doing a part of her degree process. What I really appreciate about her is I have never seen anyone run this kind of organization, and she did a fabulous job. She was highly respected and is well recognized. She was president of the Children's DAR during the time of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
In those 2 years of COVID, you have to understand something. It's over 100 years that the DAR has existed, and they've always had the Children's DAR. It has 20,000 members because it has parents and kids, and it has 101 board size. I just cannot imagine managing that. But the thing of it was, Joanna, they had never received money except by mail. They literally, in the 2 years that she was president of that organization, she had to change the way they received funding. They had to change a lot of the policies and procedures so they could use Zoom and they could have meetings on Zoom that were acceptable. And so to me, Laurie has done an exceptional job in 5 years of really doing major things that have certainly transformed her life. So that's who I'd like to name.
That is so nice. And we will. And so if you are an employer and you're looking for an incredible recruiter to find incredible employees to bring into your organization, or if you are a individual looking for a new career opportunity, we will make sure that we connect, get all in the show notes, Lori's contact information. So Dr. Jackalyn, thank you so much for being here in honor of WO3 Day. I encourage all of you to take advantage of this incredible, generous opportunity that Dr. Jackalyn has offered to do the Habitual Patterns Assessment. It's $19 to complete it. And once you complete it, you're going to get an hour and a half opportunity with her. And in the month of March, don't forget, March 30th is the official WO3 Day, but throughout the entire month of March, because tomorrow, this is it, we're in March, we want to really be thinking about how can you partner, promote, and support other small women business owners. You can do a testimonial, you can do a review, you can refer them, you can like and comment in their social media. If they're a service, you can think about employing, to hiring them to coach you or whatever the thing is. So just be thinking about all these incredible women entrepreneurs doing amazing things. I want to be like Dr. Jackalyn when I'm 82 years old. I want to be out there moving and grooving and talking to people and having a business and growing and transforming my life just like her. So I admire you so much, Dr. Jackalyn, for being a leader in your life and a leader in your own organization. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Joanna. I really appreciate it.